Hello everyone, Adam here from Three Count Radio, and today I have the um BTW Women's Champion, Alfie, part of Black Sheep. How you doing?
Hello. Can we just like stop you right there? Who's been out there defending it? Thank you very much. I've been putting my body on the line, even with a broken wrist. I can't say don't put the effort in.
Even though she carries out of the rumble, but well kind
I'll just bypass that. I had my reasons. I needed to
of.
protect myself. Billy's done so well
Oh,
so far.
oh, you have to protect yourself. Oh no.
Yeah, I am like top commodity, so come on. See, even I didn't believe it. Oh
Love
dear.
that.
We try.
We try. Might fail, but we try. Anyway, you questions. Me. Um, Said that on the last one, and I'll say it again. This might come off as a rather cliche question, but I like knowing the backgrounds of the people that I'm talking to. I feel like knowing each person can have an individual background and make this can make them a lot more interesting. Everyone's different. So what was it that at the very beginning interested you and inspired you to get
Uh,
into the ring?
Well, I liked it's the bog standard answer of I watched wrestling as a kid, obviously.
Mm.
I used to watch it with my little brother, and we used to like go around and try kill each other, as you do.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was just I got so wrapped up and so involved in the storylines, like it was a big part of my world. I just got invested in.
Mm.
It's like as a kid you dream about doing something like that, but you never actually think you'll do it, and then however many years later, I somehow ended up going to a training session and having a go. And yeah, the rest is history. I didn't think I'd make it this far. I didn't think I'd make it into the building, never mind what else.
You don't at the start, do you?
No.
But it's a bug. I went in with the thought of, oh, I'll be a manager. I'm not gonna be a wrestler. I know I'm not. Then you catch it, don't you?
Mm.
It's so infectious when you step inside and you're in with a load of people who are like-minded like you, who are in there for the same, love the same thing as you, but they're all unique. I love it.
I found there was a lot of people I could fit in with, or a lot of people thought the same way as me. I mean, I met like my best friends through wrestling,
Mm.
who are very much like-minded people. So it's very refreshing as well to feel like comfort in an atmosphere like that. So it has different aspects I think that makes it all good, and once it all comes together, you kind of get lost in it, sort of thing.
Couldn't agree
So yeah.
more. Couldn't agree more. It's amazing. It really is because from fans to wrestlers and everyone who's involved, you get such a feeling of a community, and there's so many people that you can trust through wrestling because you get to know them so well. And yeah, it's beautiful in my eyes. It truly is because like when you I can understand it to a degree when you talk to people outside of it who don't watch. They only think of the wrestling aspect, but when you think but when you've been there and you continue going and you continue going and then you just want to get into it, that community just starts to grow and grow and grow of all the people that you kind of realize are just they're into the exact same stuff you are and very, as you said, very like-minded and like you. And suddenly you don't feel as much of an outcast, and sometimes you don't feel as much, and you don't feel like how do I put it? You feel welcomed. That's the word.
Hmm. Yeah, I find like they're so supportive as well. Like And so many of the people that I have met and kept through wrestling, like they just support you in what you do. And, you get your rare gems that just go above and beyond in that sense. And it's nice because I don't think you'd ever feel that like anywhere else, or I ever felt that anywhere else, like had them people to sort of like help you out. So
Mm.
it's nice when you do meet them, and it's, you say, it's nice when you can be in that sort of environment and doing something that you love, and it kind of brings it all together. So
Couldn't agree more. It's great. Like, yeah, it's bleh, I can't talk. Why can't I talk?
it's fine.
I can't.
We all get it. It's fine. I'm surprised I'm doing so well so far.
Yeah, you're the better one. I'm.
It's all right. I'll just run this podcast. You're fine.
Yeah, don't worry. It's Alfie's podcast now. I just hello.
Yeah, bye.
It's great though. It's as you say, there are those people who do go above and beyond, and I've found mine 100%. As I say, I'm part of crew and with LWF, and you see the people like the Los Lancadors and people like that, David Gets Anthony Getsky. Hate me for saying his old name, Anthony Getsky. People like him, sorry to ruin his gimmick, but he's actually a nice person. These people like that who will go above and beyond to help you and will go above and beyond to clash as well, who will go out their way to make sure you're welcome and make sure to help you. And if you are to want to train there, they'll welcome you and you're not judged. It's the opposite. And I feel like the culture is so good in that way.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it always does surprise you as well. I mean, I find that people recently, I found out that people care more about my health and physical health more so than what I do. So, they're always there to give you that sort of confidence boost. And for someone that's quite, can be quite, is it hard on themselves or something? Like they're always there to like sort of backhand you and be like, nope, stop thinking like that.
Hmm. It's very easy to. It's very easy to be your own worst critic, your own biggest critic. It's really, really easy to be that person because you're in your own mind, aren't you?
With a lifetime of experience. That is our one strength in life. We don't have anything else.
There we go.
Yes,
There we go. Smashed it.
that's it. But we have to laugh at our pain and joke about it. It's all good. That's how we cope.
Yeah, gallows humor. Gallows humor right there. Yeah. That's how it is. Like
Hmm.
I saw a joke last night. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast because it might be touch home a bit. But it was deep. It was dark, but it was said by people who love the person with a passion. It was a really dark joke at the same time. But everybody would appreciate it because dark humor is humor. And sometimes you gotta laugh at things like that or else you'll cry.
Yeah, I find the best way to get through life is laughing at your pain. If you make a joke about it, it's all good.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, dear.
exactly. Exactly. That um Ricky Gervais, he said if you're able to find humor in everything, you're bulletproof. There you go. Just laugh. Make humor. Make humor. Have a laugh. Joke.
You do. That's it. I think most of my jokes are always pulling, well, I say most. I'll say like 75% of my jokes are either pulling fun at myself or, making some remark that just makes people awkward. I don't do well with the spoken conversation or some of the social aspects of life. Is
Oh,
why
tell
I'm
them.
kind of just
Or
chatting
like
shit.
at the last BTW show, telling me to fuck off or things like
Oh, mate, you deserved it. When you open the the podcast, what do you expect? Would you like me to say hi? with rainbows and daisies.
That would be
You're
nice.
insulting me to my face via computer screen.
I was gonna you beat me to it.
I could come and say it to my face next time at Bolton.
I'm okay, thanks. I'll boo you, but yeah,
Oh yeah, you'll boo me from afar, but you won't come and say it to my face.
I'll come and say hi.
Okay then, pal. Uh,
I'm very injury prone, so
yeah, you're not the only one,
yeah.
apparently.
Just accidental injury over here.
Yes, it was an injury that was caused by a previous injury.
Me. I thought
Oh
I was
no.
bad.
No, we're just hoping for the rest of it to be done now, and then I can have a full bank, like plate.
I'll be like them from horror movies who like just tricks at that every so often. It's going break, 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 break.
Oh, the pain is the struggle. The pain is real. Like every so often, I have like a screw like right in my elbow. So like
Oh.
trying to like trying to straighten it out, it kind of like I feel like the Tin Man. Need a bit of oil. No, we go for the full. Like we don't do things by halves. Well, we do certain things by halves, then go for the full. Yeah, exactly.
um, I did now. Um, you one of the things that got me straight away. So as I first saw you, number one, we'll get to Black Sheep, but incredible, love it. Um, but you're coming out with Deedee, and thank you for reminding me of the name. I'm awful with names. So bad with names.
He'll be very cross with that, you know.
I know. I do
Take things
sincerely
personally.
apologize.
Yeah, so you should do.
I do. I do apologize.
Wait,
Um,
wait, wait, wait. Come,
I do
apologize.
apologize. I do
Thank you.
sincerely from the heart. I sincerely.
You see, they're always watching.
I tried so hard to keep a straight face there.
You can tell I take life seriously.
Yeah, I
I don't do well at this sort of stuff. I don't know whether my like over.
yeah, it's fine. We'll do
I'm
what
gonna
we
say
do.
Alfie's just an amped up version of me with a bit of psychoticness, but as we've all got a little bit of that, does there?
Oh, we're all one bad day away from madness.
Bad day.
Bad moment.
Sometimes it don't even take that.
What? Speaking of DD, what was it that? It's like, of course, we were talking off air. What was it that like inspired DD? Because the one thing I love is the different ways you come through the curtain with DD, like either in the mouth or hanging out from the belt and things like that. The different ways you come out through the curtain with DD is fantastic.
We love Deedee.
Oh yeah.
Deedee's more over than me. Deedee will always be more over than what I am.
Oh yeah,
I'm as
definitely.
a heel. Deedee's very over as a heel.
Oh yeah, genuinely.
No,
You've um, you've
no,
a
you know
me and
what?
Adam chanting.
Yeah. Oh God. Everybody does that. Like, I'll come out to the ring, and there'll always be someone that wants to hold DD for the match, or that wants. If I don't ever bring, if I don't ever bring them out, then it's like, where's DD? I'm like, oh, thanks. Hello.
We don't
No.
want you. We want Dee. Go back.
Yeah,
Don't
I
get.
don't
Don't
blame
get.
you. But no, you know what? DD came, so I had a street fight, and I wanted to kind of do something a bit different. It was sort of in a time that I was a bit, let's say, floundering. I didn't really know, like, So Deedee kind of started my whole Alfie gimmick, like, um, and it was a suggestion of coming to the ring, and I wanted to, you know, how many people come to the ring with different objects and stuff and different weapons. So I wanted to try and think of something different. Um, and I had this idea to have something inside it, but we wasn't actually sure. Um, and I always love cartoons and stuff. Like, I'm still a big kid at heart, obviously.
Yeah,
Um, so I was thinking like of like ironic things, like so yeah, which I thought Care Bear, DD, and it was sort of like created from there. So I pulled the stuff in out and stuck the chain in. I was trying to think of something as well for a different sort of weapon to put in. I did want to like it was just trying to think outside the box. I have a few more ideas of of different weapons to put inside. Uh, so yeah, we might change that up in the future. But yeah, it sort of came around through a street fight and a random idea, and just always wanting to fetch something, and then kind of like evolved from there. And now it's now I can't imagine being in the ring without DD. I know that sounds stupid and lame, but it's like sort of like a comfort blanket now, I suppose, if we can describe it as that. Yeah, DD to I am.
I get that though. I understand it because they kind of become one with each other. It
Mm.
ADD that just kind of creates a life among herself, and it. I said it off air and I'll say it now. You have an aura when you do come through the curtain, and it works because no one else has, from what I know anyway, has that a Kerber or anything like that, like with them while wrestling because it, as you say, it's kind of like an oxymoron because it's a Kerber, so it works brilliantly. And of course, terrified at some of the things you're gonna put inside DD, some of the weapons. Kind of terrified, but as long as I don't get hit, we're good.
Watch this space. I don't know if you carry on doing this. I just launch DD at you.
I'll just catch it them. You,
No.
depends if you're ever gonna get DD back if you throw it
You're
that way.
acting like your catch game is going to be that strong.
Called out. Fair play. Actually, actually, no. I was at an RWS show once, and Chris Stone and Nick Cutter were. I was here, and Chris Stone and Nick Cutter were there, and I'm here, and they're like, cross the road, cross, and then
Yeah.
corners there, and they're on the other end. That was really badly done. And I'm just there. And then Chris just throws a water bottle over at me. And let's go. And caught it perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. It was like when Brock threw the mic at Rome and he just caught it like that. I just caught the water bottle perfectly. I just looked over, was like, Cutter was just laughing. Cutter was just laughing. He's like Cutter and Stone was like, for God's sake, I caught it perfectly. So ha. Mm, yeah.
That's when you could have this smug, I don't believe I just did that. Like, that was not meant to happen.
Oh, it was pure fluke.
Yeah.
Absolute fluke, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Ah, a win is a win.
A
You've
win
got to
is a
take
win.
that shit every day.
Oh yeah, a win is a win. I'll take it. But yeah, I caught one water bottle in my 27 years.
Like, saying that, I have had a few. Well, the throwing games got better, but one of the first times I threw DD at the start of a match, and I was just gonna throw it as I do, straight to my opponent, just to catch. And I threw it like out, out. It just went over up to like the last row of the seats. It's like cool, cool,
I'm
cool,
impressed
cool,
you got
cool.
it back. I'm impressed you got DD back, to be honest.
I was, you know what? DD appeared as if by magic at the corner. Because I went to
It's
go
meant
get
to
him at
be.
one point, because obviously I needed to go get him. And yeah, he was just there for me.
It's
So,
meant to be.
you
It's
know,
just meant to
came
be his
back.
fate.
So anybody that ever says it's a teddy or anything, no, no, because even when you throw it to the other side of a ring, it comes back. Oh dear.
Got magic.
I see
It's
this is why I don't
magic.
talk a lot. So
It's brilliant. No need to worry. It's fancy. It's brilliant.
oh dear.
Um, I am talking about crowd and almost taking someone's head off with Deedee in the crowd. What are some of the better crowd interactions you've had with Deedee? So I can imagine we've had a few.
Oh yeah, we have loads all the time, but it is everybody just wants Deedee. So I'll go and give it to like a member of the crowd. Like, you look after it. Like, don't let anybody take it. 'Cause I know I'm not going to get Deedee back if I don't keep an eye on it. So and it'd be there guarding it, or like I kept it safe. Like, or it's like surprising because like you get like all the 30-year-old women and like the ones in they all want Deedee. Everybody wants Deedee. Like, I am so surprised at just like the vast how well Deedee's over. You know, like all age ranges, everybody loves. So I'm like, I'm doing something good.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe. See.
yeah. It's unique.
Uh,
It's unique, and in the world of professional wrestling, that's fantastic. It's bloody difficult to come up with something massively unique and like, true to you.
yeah.
So I think with a lot of people, they get the wrestling down because that's what you go for.
Mm,
Dream, of course. They get that
yeah.
side down, and the good wrestlers they can wrestle in the ring. The sound, they're safe, they're great. But I think a lot of people can struggle sometimes with getting that character like
Mm.
up there and portraying it. Like someone I always bring up, and I think people are quite there. But Mike,
It's okay. We can talk.
people, I think people might be a bit tired of me mentioning her, but Leah Raven is someone who very early in her tenure of becoming a professional wrestler just had that gimmick, had the look, had it just the hat, the black and white, the makeup, the look. She had the gimmick instantly, and quite impressed to be honest, because then I think that can be quite difficult to do in terms of, as we were saying before, getting ideas from here to the
Mhm.
canvas.
Oh God, yeah. Like, to come up with anything in the start, or like to know what sort of what you want to be and what you want to do
Mm,
and who you want to be. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, as when I say I speak from personal experience, like, man, it took me a good few years to know, or to kind of like build something, or to know even how to start, or where to start, or like for the first few years, like it's floundering, just wrestling, and I don't really know, kind of lost in myself, sort of thing.
mm.
Because funny enough, I always say like the first time I broke my arm, uh, well, broke my arm, broke my wrist. So the one and only time I broke my arm, um, like when I came back from that, I sort of like because I'd spent time watching it and I was a better wrestler
Yeah,
from before my injury. But even then, there was still something missing. I didn't quite have. Oh, but one of my problems was as well, like my confidence, like the confidence in what I do and the confidence in how I look, and trying to sort of get past them barriers to be who you wanted to be,
yeah,
like who I wanted to be. Like in the first, God, in the first like 3 4 years wrestling, like I'd covered up in long bodysuits and stuff,
really.
and like, oh yeah, yeah, like I'd wear my t-shirt and my shorts and my Converse, because I just wasn't confident and I just wasn't comfortable. And it was kind of like, ironically, it was like sort of after lockdown when we came back that I sort of got more comfortable in I say comfortable because I still spend hours like obsessing sometimes, but like looking at like being comfortable in the gear that I wear now and to show that bit of like show that bit of flesh off. And actually portraying who I wanted to be without sort of like thinking too much into myself. So if I didn't overthink it, and which is very difficult, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it is easy at all because
Mm,
Jesus Christ, it just takes one thing sometimes and that's
yes.
it. So I think like to know you want to be in the first place is amazing and to be able to do that. But it is a lot of development as well. I definitely that even when I started wrestling, I mean, I started wrestling the day before my 22nd birthday.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and like I don't know, the person I was then is
Mm.
sort of like different to who I am now. Like who I am
Oh
now
yeah.
is sort of like who I've accepted that I am, and I'm kind of learning to embrace that. Whereas who I was back then, like I didn't know who I was, and I was trying to be whatever. So yeah, I think it's only when for everybody it's different, but it's only when you personally embrace stuff that you can actually be the person or be who you want to be in all like kind of aspects on anything, you know? But yeah, and as I said, it takes people years. It takes some people it doesn't even take that long, but you know, everybody's different and it all matters,
Yeah.
you're all great. So.
Oh yeah, of course. So, yeah, it's I do really appreciate what you just said then because it's true. It really is true. It can be a battle in your own head in accepting who you are, accepting what you are, accepting what you want to be because of self-confidence, and you can very easily just let that imposter syndrome straight away. And it can just be that easy. Like it did with me for a long time with RWF because I'm not a wrestler. So being part of the crew and doing all this and that and helping out, it's like, but I'm not a wrestler. So it's fine. You're an interviewer. You do this, you do that. But I'm not. There was always a but. There was always a
Mm,
but this, but that. Like the imposter syndrome can play a big part in things, and it can block your mind into accepting who you truly are and accepting who you want to be. Because
mm,
and at the same time, you can also look at inspirations. You can also look at people and think and dive too deep into kind of being a rip-off of them rather than an inspiration of them. Like I remember at promo classes with Chris Brooker, Future Shock. Um, my I think my favorite right now, Seth Rollins,
mm,
because the man has the crowd right there. For about 5 minutes to 10, 5 to 10 minutes, you can have the crowd just singing his theme and you can just stand there. And that shows how over someone is. But like his mannerisms and things like that, I would basically be a knockoff him.
mm,
And that's like very, 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 very far from the gimmick that I've kind of developed and got in my head for what I want to do now. But you can kind of when you think you're like, oh, this person inspires me, you can kind of go too deep into it. I'm not saying that's all necessarily a bad thing because you can open up a door there to have quirks of what that character might be, but make it your own. Um, I know that I quite a bit went deep into, oh, I love Seth Rollins, I want to do this. Not necessarily always the case, but it can just take one thing, like one match or one promo or one idea to strike a chord like that. And then now you've got something, and then you find yourself. But it's a process, as you say, it can be a long process,
mm.
definitely
Oh,
difficult as well.
yeah, it does. Uh, I think well, I think in my case it was necessary.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it doesn't take away like anything like that. And it's not a fast, it's not fast. And it does take years sometimes. It's like you touched on something. Um, so I was called out once because by my friend because like they'd it was a fellow wrestler and they'd seen my match and they was like, oh, you did this well and you did that really well and I think that looked great. And I was like, and every time they said that, I was like, well, yes, that was that, but. And I was like, yes, that was that, but I could. And it's like, yes, that was that, but I could have done. And they were just like, why'd you do that? Like, like, but there's a but every time. Like, you can't just ever accept anything. Like, you've always got to have a but. Just accept the compliment, you know. And like they do give me like critique and constructive criticism, which I love, and I'll take
Hmm.
that. But they're like sometimes you just need to compliment some of the stuff that you do without having to sort of like tear it apart.
Hmm.
And I think you just have to learn to. It is something you have to learn about because I still don't know. Jeez, but I didn't realize that I did it as much as what I did
Yeah.
until someone called me out on it, sort of thing. And they was doing it in a nice way because it was just like it take accept the compliment. But you kind of like, yeah, it's difficult sometimes to sort of like accept that you can do this.
Yeah, it is. And compliments can be very difficult to accept. It's awkward. It can be awkward to accept a compliment. It's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, I did. It's kind of like you're sat there going, yeah, I did do well. I did do that. Yeah, it kind of feels awkward because it's weird. It's like
Mhm.
awkward disconnect in your mind. But
Yeah, I
it's
was just
strange because the best are always learning. So not necessarily that there's always a but because we both know there always is. You always got to be your own worst enemy.
mm,
Always. It's a nightmare. It's a blessing and a curse kind of thing because even the best wrestlers in the world, the best wrestlers on the indie scene, they'll always be learning and they'll always be getting better and improving and improving. That's what separates the good from the great.
yeah.
It's the fact that you never stop learning. And I believe that should, in all walks of life, anywhere, always learning, no matter what. Even Gengar thinks so.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, it is important. We all agree.
Exactly.
That's why he's Gengar. I mean, he's had to evolve twice.
Exactly. I mean, come on,
That's
it's
why
Gengar.
he's yeah,
We've had Alfie, we've had Deedee, we've got Gengar.
yeah,
What more could you want?
exactly. Mm. Maybe a few more surprises in Deedee, as I say. Got that thing ahead.
Dear me. I shudder to think.
We can be creative when it comes to these sorts of things. Like
That's the
honestly,
thing
like
that scares me.
give you no DQ and I'm like it's so creative with ideas and stuff and we love to tell the story and like, see what other ways we can hit each other while telling a good story.
It's great though. It's great. It is because it's one of the things that because I remember the first time I ever went over, I was nervous as all hell. The first time I ever came up to talk to you, I was like, hi, hi, I can't believe that compared to what we're like now.
I know now you just annoy me, good God, with no consequences. Jesus Christ. I'll get
Yeah.
away from you.
You should see it.
You're always there at the shows. You're always giving me shit.
You should
No.
see. I'm
We
always
should go
slagging it
back
off.
to
Don't.
being scared. Everyone should just be scared and then, I can
No
let
one
this
comes near
persona
you.
go and I don't have to be happy smiley.
It's like a parting of the seas. Everyone just like that. Thank you. Sod off.
You know what though? I do get that quite a lot. Like the amount of times I'm told how scary I am. It's like me. It's like, well, never knew I was that good of an actor.
Well, it's
Oh.
the funny thing is, it was the opposite with me. I found it endearing. So, Maybe that's a me thing. Maybe I
Oh,
just like horror. I don't know.
maybe. I mean, all the good ones. No, I was gonna say all the good ones too, but I can't say that because you're still gonna use your air quotations. You have got to admit though, and everybody has got to admit, right? No matter what, right? My women's champion reign, my BTW women's champion reign, however you want to say it, however anyone wants to say it, has been so iconic. Look off. I'm in the middle of a slide here and you just cutting me off. Yeah. I I will be remembered. That's the thing. You know what? I'm that funny, you know. I always knew, see? I always knew how hilarious I was.
You see that
That's all.
head just getting bigger and bigger. Oh my god.
I know, jeez, guys.
Loves.
When
Oh
humor's all you got, you just got to roll with it.
my
Ain't got shit else. Oh,
god.
actually, yeah, crippling mental health and issues. But apart from that, we've got great sense of humor.
Fucking Christ, can I empathize with you on that one?
But what do we do? And how do we deal with it? We laugh.
You know.
We make jokes.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Gallows humor.
Yay!
That's how you cope.
Yep. Repression.
Lots of it. Lots of it, yeah. Until we're in our 60s and boom.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, oh Lord. Um yeah,
Uh,
as we mentioned in Bolton and BTW, as I
mm.
mentioned before, you are part of the Black Sheep. I've already
Say it
spoken
a bit
to
more enthusiastically, couldn't you?
well, I do apologize genuinely,
Yeah, thank
sincerely.
you. Right, start again.
I do sincerely apologize. I was thinking of how to eloquently say something then, genuinely, because it's honestly fantastic. It is like genuinely. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is different." Because I've already spoken to Stocks about it. I've already had him on talking to him about it. I always love his socks. He's always got Pokemon socks, and
Yes.
it's amazing. Um, it's you're all different, but you're all outcasts in that sense. That's from I get that what I get from it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Like heel Aton, because babyface at LWF, it's a great babyface. But heel Aton just looks so seamless and just it's different because I've always seen him as a face up until
Mm.
BTW, always. So it's just I like just getting to see that little bit of heel from him. But all of you are different, but all of you are the same at the same time. And it's one of the staples, in my opinion, of BTW, genuinely. So curious to what it's like in your perspective, what it's like to be in a faction like that.
Oh, I love it. Like the thing is, it's surprising like how sort of how accepted it is at VTW and like how everyone seems to love it because they all
Mm,
come around afterwards and talking to us. But sort of it, it's great in a sense of like they've helped me anyway to sort of so I'm always looking to develop Alfie and
yeah,
being with them sort of like helps me to come out of my shell a bit more as well,
yeah,
so I can kind of like have the fun and you know we can go out there and do what we want to do and learn at the same time, sort of like bring out the best in each other while you're out there
yeah,
and just feel supported really. But no, I love it. I think it's great. And you know, it helped me sort of like because when I came to Bolton, did I debut? A couple, I maybe debuted last year or something. Don't know
I think
but
so.
yeah, and I didn't really like so wrestling wise, I didn't really know anyone from that sort of area.
Yeah,
Um, I wrestled mainly in like the Midlands and down south and like this end north.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so as well being a part of the faction kind of like helped me to sort of be able to talk to people as well backstage and sort of like get a confidence there.
Mm.
Um, so I think in both professional and personal aspects, like, it's helped me evolve anyway. And I love the storylines that we can be part of. And I love going out there and just sort of just letting your hair down and just, being unruly. All outcasts, all for one. So,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
I think it's sort of, oh, what's the word? It's sort of, um, resides with a lot of people. Is that the right word?
Resides with them. Yeah. Yeah.
Reside.
Hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of people feel like black sheep, feel like they don't fit
Hmm.
in and feel like outcasts. And, a lot of people have said the same and, you know, they seem to love us and, love doing what we do. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing with wrestling. A lot of people are outcasts for liking wrestling, which is very stupid in my opinion. Never understood it. It's fake, right? I don't care. It is planned theatre. It is theatre in spandex. I love I don't care. I don't care. I love it. And it's one of those things, like, why is it so important to you to shit on something that I like? But that's I think that's why a lot of people are outcasts who like wrestling because of that aspect of it. And it's something that brings people together and gathers up, as we were saying at the beginning, gathers a community of people who are very like-minded. A lot of people are black sheep, a lot of people are outcast. So a gimmick like the black sheep resonates with a lot of people because of that. So yeah, I can completely understand where you're coming from with that, and it's great to have something like that because it is fun because you're bad guys who people like as well. Like, because I'll boo, obviously, I'm gonna boo you, but at the same time, that
Oh, yeah.
oh my Lord, I'm having a ball. It's an
Oh,
absolute
yeah.
blast watching. It's
So
great.
don't underestimate the amount of hate we get when we're around the side of the ring because some of them kids can be mean.
They
You get
can.
personal.
They can be. Yeah. Some of the things I'll
Uh,
chant something and he's hear something. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna carry that one on.
but we love it because they get involved and,
Mm.
you know, I think you can love us or hate us. Most people can love us. I'd love you, so yeah.
It's fun. And
Yeah.
that's all we want from wrestling. It's fun and it's unique.
Mm,
And with something like that, I think BTW has something on the terms of more like edgier gimmicks in terms of Black Sheep, Rabbit. Hell, even Jack Johnson is edgy in what he says and how he acts. Don't get me wrong, he can be comedic. Like at the last show when he was, I think it was the last show or the show before, when he was stealing things from trying to steal someone's car and things like that. Like it's fantastic stuff. But like the way Jack can wrestle is very creative. And I remember having him on, he said it's all about those little things, the tiny, tiny little details which add up to something big. And I usually try and find myself looking at little tiny little things like that because they're the things I notice and like that is cool. Much like you with Deedee, it's like that is cool because it's just a small change which makes it entirely different,
mm.
massively different. So it is it's it it's unique but in a very, very good way, like sheep. So yeah, there was no ill feelings of not
No,
sounding like
yeah. No, I'm very happy and very grateful and very honored to be a part of it. Like I love the fact I'm part of it. So that's how I did it to whatever. But yeah, I don't know. They did. They helped me bring out Alfie too, because you look at the characters we've got in there. Look at, all of the guys. it just helps. We help each other. Well, they helped me.
Yeah.
I
Now,
can't speak for other people, and I never will. But yeah, they helped bring Alfie out to a whole different level. So for that, I'll always be appreciative as well.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I believe anyway, it's exactly what wrestling should be. No, I don't know if there are, um, like one company doesn't like this company or they won't work with this. I don't know personally. I have no idea. Not gonna bring up hearsay, but what I what I did there. Phil Wood finally had him on last time, and you wouldn't have believed that was our first ever conversation. It was a two-parter, went almost 3 hours. You wouldn't have thought it was our first ever conversation. Uh, he said build bridges, not walls, and could not agree more. Every promotion, every wrestler should always be helping each other get better, not bringing anyone down.
Oh,
That's what.
I agree. I love good people. I love
Mm.
kind people, like just genuine people. They're my people. Yeah, if you are a good person, then I will always try and treat you better. That is my motto because I don't know. I have found it hard to find good people. So any good person in my books is something you should cherish. And just
I
remind them
love that.
how nice they are. Remind them how good they are. Sometimes they need to hear it. Like the amount of times I tell people, the amount of times I thank people for being so nice to me or for being lovely. Like it's just sort of maybe it's more of a trauma response, but I don't know. I think it's just nice to know sometimes like you're a good person and it's appreciated, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I get it. It can be you can have an amazing day. One bad thing happen, and that's the one thing that's on your mind.
Mm,
So walking through town, you see people just not being very nice, being dickheads, or um when you're sat at I like to go out every now and then with my mum. We'll go shopping somewhere, get a Starbucks, sit in and have a nice chat. Every now and then we like to do that. It's always lovely. It's always lovely going out with my mum and having a coffee. But you'll see from time to time, you'll see someone come in who treats it, they'll instantly just treat them like shit, treat the barista like shit and be rude. And you sat there like, why?
mm,
Because what does it takes more effort to be like that than it does to be nice. It takes more effort a bad person than a good person. So just be a good person.
mm. I
Simple as
agree.
that.
Oh yeah, I agree. I get some like it does make all the difference because I mean like sometimes you get random people or stuff or like just randomly saying stuff nice to you or saying that they like, your hair looks nice or, you've got a really nice thing. And it's just like that little thing kind of sometimes can make your day, no matter
Yeah,
how much you do it. So I don't know. I always try and go out of my way to remind good people that they are that because I don't know. I think everyone deserves to know that they're good if they are that.
couldn't
And
agree
don't get
more.
me wrong, if you're on the flip side, then I ain't gonna be mugging, I ain't nice to you. But
No, 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 no.
if you're a good person like me, then you know. I'm not here to ever, ever, ever want to pull anyone down. So
I think you need to be reminded yourself that you're a good person too.
thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a bit senile, but I think all the best people are.
Yeah, so am I. It's all right. It's normal to not be normal.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it is. I think all the best people are, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, massively,
That's
yeah. You know,
it. We were.
I've got a finger. Uh,
Oh yeah.
it would be better if I could actually just wait, actually if I just do that.
Yeah, but I'm not really helping when I'm doing this and I'm in a camera so I can see your face. What you're showing on the screen
It's
anyway.
it's I thought it would actually be able to show up, but no. Um, it's a tattoo of a Dream State song called "Hand in Hand," and it literally just two hands in hands like that. Says it's okay not to be not to feel all right, and it all starts with you. And that that's an amalgamation of solace and hand in hand, put into one tattoo. Um, they actually changed it to that. That's not the original thing, but I actually liked what they did better, so I put it as that. But it's the lead singer of a band called Dream State, and they broke up in the pandemic. The lead singer was very open in her lyrics and her story that she had an awful time of it, like addiction and things like that. She just had an awful time. Like she's been through a hell of a lot of trauma, and really, really bad. And she was open about it in her songs, and that's how she. Um, I think that was how she was handling everything. So the pandemic put a stop to everything. Her and another band member called Reese left. They're still going, but with different members, and it's just nothing against them at all, but it's not the same. I went watching them three times. First time was in the Star and Garter in Manchester, literally about a minute walk away from the Future Shop PC, which is quite cool. So every time I go and do promo class, I get to see it. The second time was in the Deaf Institute, and the third time was Manchester Academy. And the second time I went, the Deaf Institute, she recognized me straight away, instantly. And you can imagine the amount of tourings and people she's seen and met, and she knew me straight away. And then the third time was Manchester Academy. She fingered she had this drunk guy because it was not by a bar, and he was, when I say drunk, I mean like big barrel of whiskey sort of thing. Like he was wasted. Oh, it's a singer. So he had his arm around and everything. He's like, oh, and she was just stuck on a phone to her agent, not even giving a shit. So he buggered off. He's like, she looks up, and it's like a big crowd, massive, massive crowd of people just like waiting because they didn't really, they just wanted to meet her. She went, you at the Star and you at definitely you saying she pointed me out of a big crowd, went over to her, put me on round, we were talking around, but she had a very smashed up phone, and she had like about 10 different bloody missed calls from her agent or something like that. And we were talking for ages, but it's the fact that she cared. In fact, it's the fact that she cared to remember the people who care about her. And she said something to me that stuck with me the entire time, no matter what. She said, it's in a song, Hand in Hand. She said, don't remember this, I don't remember. It all starts with you. Remember that. So it all starts with you. And it's a quote that stuck with me because they, like, music's special. Music is beautiful. Like, they got me through my hardest and hardest of times that I've been in the lowest of those that I could possibly teach. Won't go into too much detail, but yeah. Um, and she helped because knowing that there's music out there that's raw, passionate music of people going through the similar things that you're going through, and they're saying things in the songs that resonate in your heart, it can help you so much. And I believe wrestling can be a similar form of solace. I believe wrestling can be a very similar form of therapy to a lot of people because they can have a shit week, shit month, whatever. They could have a shit time of it, and for 2, 3 hours or so, they get to a wrestling show. All of that goes away, and that's for the fans and the wrestlers. Like all of it goes away, and you just have a great night and remember who you are again.
Mm. Yeah, I very much agree. I think there's a lot of powerful ways, like you said, music and that to help with them situations. Wrestling is one of them too.
Mm,
Um, I mean, all know how easy it is to shut off, shut down, and shut out, when we get like that. So being able to find something or find a place or a people from that place, that help when you are feeling like that or, something that you need in them times. You know, I think it's all important.
It is.
Um, I think it's wonderful that there are things out there that help people and that bring them out of these sort of situations or the sort of, you know, the life that they're struggling with.
I agree.
Uh,
It's I know I don't think you I think you've been busy, of course, with everything that's been going on, you've been busy, but you have a link to a website on your Instagram,
yes,
which I had a little look before. I've got it up on my thing now, and it's beautiful, really, because
thank you.
it is because the it's somewhere where people can visit and realize they're not alone. And
Yeah,
I love that because that even I think people seem to I don't think people put too much I think people put take a lot of can't think of how to say it. They don't realize how powerful
mm.
simply listening can be.
Oh yeah. I think there's listening with the intent to reply, and then there's listening with the intent to understand. I know the difference between those two, you know, is the difference that would make someone feel heard, or sometimes it's not even a, you have to answer or you need to know what to say or how to say the right thing. It's just being an ear. But yeah, my I made my blog a good few years ago now.
Mm,
But that was exactly my intention to make people feel like they weren't alone. Um, I wrote, well, I think it's been maybe a year since I wrote in it, but that's just because there's sometimes that when my mental health gets bad, that sometimes just hard to get them words out. But I obviously I keep it running and get back to writing. But yeah, I started it so no one had to feel alone because I knew, I've struggled with my mental health, God, since I was like 10, since my early teens. I
mm,
have BPD. I have a few other ailments, I have had, or I'm still like recovering from a very serious like ED. Um, and like back in the times that I was in the midst, especially when I'm more self-aware now because I'm older and I've kind of had to learn about myself in order to understand. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still don't, you know,
mm.
it, I still don't quite understand myself sometimes, and being self-aware is a hindrance. But, being self-aware now is different because back when you was a teenager, you didn't know what was wrong or what was happening, and you
Yeah,
just felt everything. And I was never one, and I'm still not. I'm still terrible for it. Like I do shut down when I'm in them situations or I'm in them moods because I don't know how to sort of deal, and I find it hard to talk to people. To sort of like I've always kind of done everything by myself. Everything that I've done and that I've gone through, like I've always kind of fought it myself.
yeah,
So it was in case anyone struggled or anyone needed some reassurance that like they weren't the only ones that felt a certain way, or you know in case they couldn't talk to people, or it was just trying to I didn't even expect people to read it.
mm,
I kind of just made it like as a thing of, if I just help one person, you know
yeah,
then that's me done. I don't ever do anything for, validation or anything. I just do it kind of from a place of, a hurt, broken little child that's sort of like battled and yeah, sort of like had to be strong to be where I am now. So yeah, just to remind people they're not alone.
yeah. Um, yeah.
Sorry.
It's
This
no,
is
not
why
at
I use
all.
my humor, because when I start to like, you know how it
No,
is.
I think it's healthy though to sometimes get it out and sometimes talk about it like that and converse about it like that
Mm.
because we can make, of course, we use like adults' humor. We use our humor to cope with things. You and I are very similar in that regard, but sometimes it is healthy to also just talk because having something like your blog is so simple but so wonderful because if it helps just one person, then that's a world changed. Because I always say because when you say about being self-aware, I've got certificates up there. One of them fell off and broke, so I got to get another one to put it back up. But I've got certificates. I have a level 2 in counseling, a level 3 in CBT, and a level 4 in advanced CBT. So when you talk about being, self-aware, I hate that because I suffer with awful demons, as I say. I have epilepsy. So suffering with epilepsy and everything it comes with outside of the seizures, everything that comes with trying to get and retain jobs and everything else combined. I, epilepsy and mental health issues do go hand in hand. There it is again. Um, and so I always say when I was doing my uh, certificates and everything, it came to me. I said, I can't physically change the world, but if I help one person, then helped change that person's world, and that's the way I look at it. Because if I help change one person, even maybe a smile when you're walking down the street, if someone's having a bad day and you just simply give them a smile, that smile could be the difference in everything for that one person. They could have been one little thing away, like one trigger away. I know it sounds dark, but something you've got to embrace it. It's true.
Oh.
Because a lot of people in this world are really, really struggling. And when you go outside and you're talking to people, there's that visage, that mask that you put on because you don't want other people to see what's inside and what you're struggling with. So you put that mask on and then you go outside and then you're this happy-go-lucky, bubbly person. But like that's when the quote, what do you do when the party's over?
Mm.
That's where that quote comes in. And what do you do the day after? The day after that, you're gonna come down. So I'm unsure about you, but I have a social battery.
Mm.
And I can go out. I had a weekend of WF where I was on my feet 24/7, which I'm part of the crew. I love. I had an amazing day. I stood talking to Joey Hayes, picking his brain. Couldn't be happier. But it's exhausting, isn't it? And then I went to TWA and I had a small anxiety attack at the show. And that scared me because that's my comfort. It's one comfort in this entire world. I was okay. I was fine. Got some water, came back. I was perfectly fine. Enjoyed the rest of the show. Got home. We're perfectly happy. No problem. But that one little bit scared me. It was like 10 minutes, and my mum was like plastered to my side. Um, but yeah, it's very easy to put that mask on, but it's easy for it to creep in and creep in when you feel like you should be most comfortable. But after that social battery, after that weekend, I'm done. I'm spent for the week.
Mm.
I'm done. That's it. Never used to be. Used to be fine. Used to be all right. Get up, no problem. Not now.
Mm. I understand. It is like being that social person though, especially if it's something that you have to try and like sort of like push. Like I can be like 90% of the time be so socially anxious, like, constantly trying to think of what should I say or should I have to say anything or like how I should it and like it does it's draining, and
Yeah.
sometimes like my friend, I'm lucky to have people that understand that sometimes like I'll message, but like we'll have running conversations. So, we'll reply sporadically, throughout time to each other. And that's okay because, you know, it's fine. I mean, I have days that I can get up and, you know, I am a bit chat, can we talk to them?
Mhm.
But it depends on the day. It
It does.
depends on how social I've been. It depends on like how I'm feeling that day. Sometimes, with BPD, you wake up and no,
Mm.
it's no. Um, so yeah, I think having that social battery is everything. It needs to be recharged, and I think you need to as well, like not feel bad or not having, because if you don't, answer people back or you don't talk to people sometimes, and you feel bad, and then it's like you're constantly apologizing, or
Yeah.
like I know if I'm having a terrible time, then I'm less likely to answer people because it's taken all my social energy to get through the day,
Yeah.
or any type of energy to get through the day. And it can hit you like a ton of bricks when you don't expect it, as you said as well. And I've been there, and it's awful.
Hmm.
And it knocks you because he's like, what the fuck? I thought we was getting over this. You know,
Hmm.
I thought we was having a good day. Um, you know, and it does make you question it. But I think it's with days like that, it's important to know that you can go and you can recharge and that it's okay. Like anybody that doesn't understand that in your life, then you really, I don't know. I can't sit here and say it, but like, I don't know. I find it easy to sometimes shut people out that don't understand as much because it's sometimes very difficult, with who who I am. And I don't mean that in a weird way. I mean like in my mind's way because I know what my mind's like.
I know what you
I,
mean.
I'm chatting shit now. I'm bothering, but yeah.
It's that I get it. I really, really do. I get it. I can be, especially when talking to newer people as well, people you don't usually talk to. You say
Hmm.
hello and things like that. But then it's that feeling in your chest that just rises and rises and rises. And it's only been about half a second, but a 30-second eternity. That what should I say? Should I be talking? Should I ask them something? Should I have said something? And then they're probably not even thinking anything.
Mm.
They're probably
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
But it really grabs hold of you.
Oh. Mm.
I completely agree. And I think the power um of knowing that you're not alone, and the power of reaching out and just having someone just listen or be there. Like I I I live up northwest in Wigan, and I had a friend from high school told her everything that went on years ago. Something happened um last year, and she just came over from Warrington, got the train, sat there, and we had a chat. And then something recently happened. My mind was just gone. And I was scheduled to go to house on the Thursday. I went house on Monday, Tuesday, and then again on the Thursday as well. And I'm not a drinker, maybe a handful of times a year, if that. But she's a friend who will make drinking into a drinking game. That kind of person. Anything at
Yeah.
all. So it's a good night. It's a good night. But she knows how to just make you forget
Mm.
just for that night and just help you. Because yeah, like we all know out of it's not gonna be just it's gone now, it's done. Oh, that's where we've gone.
Mm.
But for that night, like they know her and the boyfriend, they know how to just help and just you don't need to talk about it.
Mm.
You're just there, you're having a good time, and it just distracts you from what it is. that you're feeling, and then the next day you can think about it, and it might not affect you as much because you've had a night with your friend to kind of digest what happened and just be there. So
Mm.
it's it's the reaching out that's the hard part, though. I think for me, I've kind of got it in my head to reach out as kind of not muscle memory, but close. It's getting there because like it's one of those where I know what I'm capable of, so it can scare you. So I think
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
we'll
That's
go too
that's it.
deep. Sorry.
No, no, no. What you want? But I do. I think it's I'm gonna be a hypocrite because I'm gonna say I do think it is really important to talk to people, but I am terrible,
Mm,
and anybody that knows me knows how terrible I am. But um, as you said, sometimes you don't need to talk about it. Reaching out, I get that it's difficult, but reaching out and just being able to sit with people
mhm.
and take your
Yeah,
mind off everything, um, helps loads.
it does.
Um,
Kind of
and
reminds you you've
my
got people there.
yeah, and that's it. And I always say, like, my friends know, like, I may be sometimes terrible at replying, but I'll always reply when you need me. Like, I always say to them, like, if you message me and you needed me, I'll be there. Like, that I'd answer it.
Yeah, it's
That's just
just tough
mm,
sometimes because, and I get it. I really do. I've had times myself because I'm being off work and things like that. I'm in here a lot, so like I'm on the phone a lot. So it kind of you develop a bit of another complex where you're like, well, why aren't these people answering me? Why aren't we doing this? And then you kind of get like a slap in the face of like, you're off work because of your epilepsy. These people are busy. They have jobs. They have lives. They're up and doing about. Stop. Like you kind of have to like a little bit of a slap in the face, saying like, yeah, they're busy. I'm off work because of health issues, because of epilepsy. I'm not at work, so I'm not as busy as these people. I'm not doing what they're doing. I'm at home. So you kind of have to remind yourself of that. But it's like your mind just playing tricks and being like, oh, well, they don't want to talk to you. This is your anxiety creeping and they don't want to talk to you. They don't care. They're blah, blah, blah. No, shut up now. Stop. Because it's like people are busy, for one.
mm,
And for two, people have social batteries, and no one's obligated to answer straight away as soon as you send the message. No one's obligated to. They will answer when they feel like they are ready to answer. So that's why I'm always happy when I drop someone a message to be like, right, they'll answer on their time. The best friends, the best people are the ones where if you message them, you don't get back straight away, and then they message back, it'll be as if the conversation never ended.
mm,
And they're the best kinds of people. I love that. I've got plenty of people like that. I've had people who we met on holiday. We meet up years later, and it's if the holiday never ended. We're still so happy and just comfortable. And in my opinion, that's the best kind of friend you can have because you can
mm,
message them about literally anything, and they'll help and they'll be there. So I think the crux of that, what I'm saying is never worry about getting back to people instantly. And if they're messaging
mm.
you about, oh, why aren't you going back? Why aren't you? Maybe kind of, it's just,
Mm,
should never be nagged. But it's a it's a tricky one, mental health, because I believe it's unique to the individual to what they're going through.
mm,
I believe empathy is it's the strongest and most beautiful emotion anybody could ever have towards another person. However, it's something that you need to um, have experienced yourself in order to understand.
mm,
Of course, that is empathy. Um, there was a, I'm not sure if you're aware of the video, but there's a video defining, it's kind of like defining, but like it tells you the difference in this animated video between sympathy and empathy. And um it's someone's there's a hole, like a little like basement hole thing, and someone's in the hole crying. And sympathy walks by, that goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, are you okay? What can I do? Oh, I'm sorry, is everything all right? Oh no." And walks by. Empathy comes over, because I'm standing there, walks over, sits down, puts her arm around. And like that's, I'm not saying sympathy is bad. Showing sympathy towards someone is very good. You should. But empathy is so strong because you understand what they've been through, so you're able to kind of take on some of that load and able to, in order to help these people. I will always try my hardest, even if I've never been through what they've been through. Trying makes so much difference. Just trying, attempting to help, trying to understand, because the person you're talking to will notice straight away. They will notice that difference, like notice you're trying, and they'll care a lot more, and they'll can possibly maybe confide a bit more, and you'll kind of gain their trust in order to help. I went to a bit of a tangent.
No, no, definitely, I agree. I think empathy is a strong thing. Mental health is unique to, every individual. What they've experienced, is unique to themselves as,
Mm,
you know, as shitty as that is. But, you know, it's sort of learning that because we are all different and because we're all unique, we have to speak to people or handle people in different ways.
yeah.
And it does come to mental health, and, we can't just base everyone on one standard, like model,
Hmm.
and that everybody has this. And, if you don't fit that, then, well, actually, you're not this. And,
Hmm.
you know, just it's as in life as in with everything else. Um, we experience everything different, and the experiences are the things that shape us, and they're
Yeah.
the reason that some of us have our mental health problems.
Yeah.
Um, and you know we have traits like embedded in us from our experiences, and them traits can be triggered sometimes. I think it's just, yeah.
It it's an interesting point, that, because those those the way they're triggered, it can be through literally anything.
Hmm.
It's so like surreal. It can be triggered through anything. I- I'm not afraid to say that I literally, a couple of nights ago, bawling, absolutely bawling, because I remembered about my grandma who passed away last year, and I was absolutely just, it just hit. I'll go months without thinking about it, and it'll just smack you across the face, and you remember, and it hits. So things like that, it's very, it can, it's kind of like an amnesia gap, and then those, when you see in a film where someone's got amnesia, but little things trigger memories. Kind of like that, something will just trigger in your head, and you'll think, and then the emotions will just come waving back. And it's very just, you can't, you can't think, you can't like, predict it. It just happens sometimes, and sometimes you just need that break. You need that time out.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And I think taking that time out and allowing yourself to take that time out is important.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got to remind yourself that you need the rest, and it's okay that you can take that time because you're important, you know.
Hmm.
It's important to care for yourself. And again, I'm laughing at myself because I sound like the biggest hypocrite. as in as if anyone would do. Like it's like you say to
Mm,
you give your friends advice, knowing that you
yeah.
should take that advice.
Giving
You
is the
know,
easy part.
yeah. So
Taking the advice, whole different ball game.
yeah,
Mm-mm. Couldn't agree more with that one. I hate it. I'm very good at giving advice. I've been told countless occasions I make a very good counselor by so many different people. But I would never be able to take the advice that I give other people.
we we can normally see all the amazing qualities in the people that we love, that we hold close. But them same qualities that we hold that they have, we don't see them in ourselves,
Mm.
and it'll always be that case. And like not saying everybody because we're all different, but yeah,
I think um I think when
we deserve.
I think there's a fine line between accepting, when you say you accept those qualities in yourself, those good qualities. I think there's a fine line between other people defining you as arrogant when you're not. You're just accepting the good qualities in yourself. My friend told me that I need to. My friend told me I need to develop some form of God complex in myself. And the way he meant that, like what he means in that is like just don't let other people control you. Like just say no from time to time and look at yourself as better than you are. Not better than you are, but like accept that you're a good person, accept your good qualities, the positive qualities, and just like it might like to other people it might come off as arrogant, but something but saying no and knowing your worth and knowing that you're a good person can definitely mean a lot more, like a lot more. And yeah, some people might look at you as arrogant, but yeah, sod him, who cares? What he means, like his advice is actually very sound advice, but this is very difficult because he's got one, but he suffers with his mental health as well. But we all deal with it very differently. He deals with it very, very differently to myself. So it's just about how you deal with it. But as long as you never get to that point where it's too late, just always please reach out.
Mm. Oh, definitely, I agree. I very agree.
Anyway, um, yeah, I think yeah, thank you. Sorry, that got
Fine.
I wanted
So do I
I,
charge you for the therapy session now or when we finish the Zoom call? See if we
well,
can bring it back around with a joke.
I'll wire you the money afterwards, don't worry.
But no, yeah.
I wanted to talk mental health with you because I know, having spoken to you, you've got the website in your bio, having spoken to you, what um I know your feelings on mental health and things like that. So I wanted to talk with you, and because I felt like it would be a good therapeutic conversation, not only for us, but possible for the viewer as well.
Hmm. All
So
right, yeah. I always encourage people like the thing is I always encourage anyone. I mean, I might not be good at social or whatever, but I am good at listening because I'm not so good at the talking side. So, I always say to people, like, if they ever need anything, and I know people throw that around, but I genuinely mean it. Like,
so
if
do
you
I.
ever need anything, then God,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
do I. I hate that it's such a cliche saying because I mean it.
Sorry.
So I do hate it's such a cliche. Oh, because people say it and just throw it around, but
Mm.
it kind of tarnishes it for the people who mean it because it, you say it to someone and they're like, yeah, okay. No, I mean it. Please, please do. I'll be there no matter what. I will. Don't care. But yeah, thank you. Thank you.
No.
You're not much of a social person for socials, but have you got anything to plug for the future?
I don't know. you could go follow me on my socials. I, d- I am terrible with social. I try my best. I hate Facebook. I do have my Alfie Facebook, but I don't have a personal one
Hmm.
or anything. But my Alfie is me anyway. I like Alfie there. And I have an Instagram which I post on more than Facebook.
Yeah, I have seen.
Yes. Um, and I have my blog. That is about it. No, I haven't really got much else to. I haven't got much to plug actually. I really need to get some merch done. Be like, buy these bitches
Please do.
because people would buy. Would you buy if I had merch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been waiting.
I
Yeah.
used to have t-shirts like back in the day. Again, one of my genius first wrestling things. Oh, look, I've been wrestling for a year. Let's make some t-shirts. I did manage to sell them all, but yeah, I learned. And I was like, yeah, and now I just don't have any merch. But well, I say that I have a few bits, but it's my mental health stuff. Anything that's like sort of connected to my blog, I give money to Beat and mental health charities. So
Beautiful.
uh, everything I do goes to them.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, I hope now we're going to see that she isn't always nasty.
No, just a bit like
She's nice at heart.
yes.
It's black though, but it's nice. She's nice at heart.
As long as you can put up with my jokes and my awkwardness and my ability to make things awkward, you know.
That's a strong ability too,
Oh yeah, it's one it's one we like possess that
though.
we excel in.
Mm.
All the bad qualities, really, isn't
It's fine. It's fine. We like to laugh
it?
and joke in here. We're good.
We do. I think it's
Uh,
important.
yeah, thank you. I genuinely appreciate you coming on. Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Well, thank you for having me. And maybe, maybe one day you'll appreciate my women's champion reign at Bolton, just like everybody else, because I have put my heart and my soul into it and, been on the receiving end of gymnastics and everything else. And, I'm doing it all for you guys because I know how much you care and I know how much you love me as the champion. And, I am the best first champion ever. You ain't ever gonna replace me, bitches. I am still the first. I will always be the first, no matter what you say. With your little air quotes, which I am not going to forget.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And
Thank you. Thanks for having me on finally.
I see you next time.